Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome back to my Halloween Horror Reviews 2021. I hope y'all enjoyed my previous two reviews, but moving on with today's review, I'm going to be talking about a horror comedy that came out in the mid-2000s, and for today's review, I'm going to be talking about 2006's Slither, written and directed by James Gunn in his directorial debut. Yes, before James Gunn went on to make Guardians of the Galaxy and The Suicide Squad, he first made Slither, and this is a movie that I am very excited to talk about today. In Slither, we follow a character played by Elizabeth Banks who lives in this town with her husband played by Michael Rooker, who while at a night in the town, he discovers this meteorite that has this alien parasite which infects him, which causes him to want to infect the entire town. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Slither.
Damien!
When Slither had first come out, this was a movie that I had no idea about, and I want to guess as to why, and I could be completely wrong on this one. I'm guessing it was in a limited theater run, and only saying that because when I was little, my dad would take my brother and I to the movies every single weekend, and every time we went to the movies, I never remembered seeing Slither at the box office whatsoever, so I want to say it was a limited theater run. I actually didn't hear about this movie until a year after it had come out. I was planning on going to my best friend's place that night, and he was asking if I heard a movie called Slither, and I said no, but if I do see it, I'll buy it so we can watch it tonight. Luckily that day, my brother and I had gone to the mall and to an FYE, oh my word, that brings back memories. While we're at FYE, I saw the cover and I just thought, whoa, this looks really cool. And James Gunn was a name I didn't know about. I mean, it was his first time making a movie. I mean, I had seen Dawn of the Dead, but I didn't know it was him making it. I bought it while we were at FYE. I went to my best friend's place that night. I was very excited. I didn't know what to expect from this movie. My buddy and I had such an awesome time watching this movie. I remember just being completely blown away, really at the time being about the practical effects makeup, which by the way, I'll get into later. Now I did review Slither for my Halloween Horror-thon back in 2011, but unfortunately due to copyright, the video had to be taken down, so this is my second review of this movie in case if y'all haven't been following me since 2011, but I'm happy to talk about this movie again because I rewatched this movie a couple of nights ago in preparation for this review, and I gotta tell you all, this movie holds up over 15 years later. Going on to the performances, everyone in Slither is really good. Nathan Fillion does a great job of playing this different version of the hero archetype. Now, when you see Nathan Fillion, I mean, you think Firefly easily, and you would think of him as this really super ultra confident guy that just knows how to get everything done. In this movie, he plays a different twist to that archetype. Everyone looks up to him as this hero. He is really much more of a shy character, and I thought that Nathan Fillion did a great job of playing this different interpretation of the hero character. Elizabeth Banks does a great job of playing this character who gets entangled this entire thing, and not to mention, she has a couple of really badass moments. But out of everybody, Michael Rooker is so much fun in this movie to watch. He's kind of this overbearing husband that just wants Elizabeth Banks' character to himself, but when he gets infected with that parasite, the way he acts when he's infected with this parasite, going in between this right amount of creepy to him and acting like this brand new husband character that Elizabeth Banks sees, you see the practical effects makeup on Michael Rooker, and the way he reacts to these certain things is absolutely brilliant, and it brings us amount of body horror to this movie amongst the main things that James Gunn mixes up within Slither itself. Even though Slither has a great cast of characters, I mean Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks, Michael Rooker, the star of this movie is James Gunn. If you've been following James Gunn ever since Slither, James Gunn has a way of really doing a great job of intertwining elements of black comedy, horror, and also combining his love of genre of film. When it comes to James Gunn homaging a lot of films, I would definitely say that James Gunn takes a bit from Night of the Living Dead, he takes a little bit from Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and with a scene involving a deer, which makes me laugh so hard to this day, there's a little bit of Evil Dead 2 in this thing. And how James Gunn is able to intertwine all these elements together makes for a really fun and at times, not really funny movie, but a really at times genuinely frightening movie, and how James Gunn somehow goes back and forth in between these genres is almost seamless. Slither is a horror comedy, and I would say more than anything else, Slither is much more funny than it is scary. Slither has some I mean, laugh out loud moments that to this day, 15 years later, still makes me laugh my ass off. I mean, there are 3 parts of this movie that still make me laugh to this day. For example, the mayor in this movie, there is a scene in this movie where he goes in this basement, and when he sees all these guys eating meat because micro workers trying to get these guys really fat on meat, so that way when they explode, a bunch of these alien things come out so they can infect other people. When the mayor sees these guys eating so much meat, one of them says this, and it still makes me laugh. "Why are you looking at me like that? Stop looking at me like that! Do you know how fucking long it is since I've been this hungry and how long I've eaten this much?" I was on a Skype call with a buddy of mine, and I said this line to him. He couldn't stop laughing. Hell, if you had a Gina, you'd marry him. What's a Gina? It's a country. It's where Chinese people come from. But possibly my favorite line in this movie is this: "It looks like something that fell off my dick during the war." And I think that for the most part, that when it comes to the horror of Slither, primarily the horror is the body horror aspect, and that is primarily, I think in my eyes, the practical effects makeup, to which, oh my god, the practical effects makeup is absolutely amazing. One thing that always blew me away is seeing the transformation the micro worker goes through when he first gets infected to the big blob that you see him become at the end of the film. I mean, the practical effects makeup, I mean, look at this shot. Look at that shot. There are some effects and there is some CG that doesn't quite hold up, but let me backtrack on that really quick. This is a movie that, like I mentioned beforehand, this movie is essentially James Gunn's homage to B horror films, like low-budget B horror films. Even though there are some certain scenes where the CG doesn't look as great as it does, I honestly think that that only adds to the movie's B-level charm, and it doesn't really dog off anything because Slither is more than just a fun, actually an awesome black comedy horror film, but it's also James Gunn's leveler, an homage to low-budget B horror films, and it showcases throughout this entire movie. And also, I gotta mention as well, the score by Tyler Bates is really well done, and in fact, I was listening to it just last night. It's a really fun score for this movie. I'm happy to see that this movie has garnered such a following over time, but really guys, this movie should have made its budget back and then some, but still nonetheless, I'm happy this movie has garnered a huge fan following over time because this movie rules.
Happy purge, you old fuck!
I would say that there were a couple of jokes that didn't quite land as hard as they should have, but otherwise, that's really it. So overall, not only is Slither such a great time, but it is also an awesome black comedy horror film. James Gunn does such a great job of combining different elements from other horror films while also making his own great homage to B horror films. I highly recommend it, so all in all, I'm gonna give Slither a 4.75 out of 5 stars. Just watch this movie and just have a great time with it. So comment down below and let me know. Have you guys seen Slither? What did you all think? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat, so if y'all want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the usernames are in the description below. I hope you all enjoyed my review of Slither. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever the latest video of mine goes live. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 videos, please click right there or right there. And of course, until my next review of my Halloween Horror Reviews 2021, I will see you all next time.